Really and honestly, I'm in so much pain that I've never experienced in my lifetime. From the accident itself, and for 3 days in excruciating pain that I couldn't actually move my body at all. That I was looking at a ceiling for these 3 days. I was in so much pain. Thankfully, with the help of painkillers, morphine, that ease has kind of slightly subsided, but still an awful lot of pain. And as you can see, I'm still in hospital.
Some reports said that you'd actually fractured your pelvis. Is that the case?
It is, yeah. There's 2 fractures in my pelvis, one at the front and then one at the rear. So from the impact from the road was for the rear, and then I think the way that the bike fell on me, that's what fractured the front of my pelvis.
I think I read that they got you to hospital fairly quickly.
They did. Unfortunately, there was a car behind me that saw the whole accident, and she was able to, first of all, stop to assist me, and then as the cars kind of backed up there as well, they were able to phone the ambulance and paramedics. So, the first paramedic was in sight pretty quickly. But, when you're lying on the ground, just in shock, it does seem like a lifetime. But no, I think like the whole NHS staff, they were fantastic, on site from start to finish.
What are the doctors saying to you about how long your recovery might take?
Well, fortunately, they're saying that I can go without surgery, which, that's good, because initially when I came in first, I think that's what they were looking to. They had me fasted because they were going to plan to operate on me the following morning, but they decided that with the way the fractures were, it could heal and it could fuse back together. So after seeing the consultant the other day, he said that probably 4 weeks really for the pain to subside, probably 6 to 8 weeks for the fractures to heal, and then from that, any length of time for rehabilitation. I think it just depends on each individual, really.
For someone at the top of their game like yourself, that's a bit of an unwelcome gap in training.
It is, certainly, because I left the house on Tuesday, fit, healthy, went on my bike, was in the middle of doing a training session in preparation for some races I had this weekend, and then all of a sudden all that's taken away and I'm just helpless. So it is. I think it's not even a case of getting back on the bike, it's a case of learning how to walk again. It is that sort of severe. It's kind of like just baby steps. I think that's the goal at the moment. So it is really difficult. Fortunately, I've got great friends and, my brother and family that's around or that's supported me, that's sort of keeping me sort of mentally kind of going through that, when I've obviously got the nurses and the doctors here to help me physically.
Can I ask you a wee bit about the accident itself? From what we read, some guy in a black 4x4 tried to undertake you by a roundabout. Is that what happened?
Yes, that's correct. It's just one of the local roads that I'm on there 5-6 times a week, so I know it really familiar. So I was approaching a roundabout, so that's what I normally do. Same as what you do in a car there, it's your mirror signal manoeuvre, so checking behind just to make sure that it was clear for me to move on. I was aware that there was traffic behind me, but obviously being at the front there, I was in the position there, and I just signalled that I was going further into the right-hand side of the lane to make that turn. And then as I made the manoeuvre, just approaching the roundabout, I saw out of the corner of my eye this black kind of SUV vehicle or Jeep type car just came right in front of me, so kind of from the inside, swerved in. It was the back of the vehicle that hit me first, and I got such a shock. I was just completely sort of gasped by it. Fortunately, I stayed upright on that occasion. But at that point,
you stayed upright even after being hit by a 4x4?
Yeah, on that occasion, yeah. But then what floored me was that the trailer that it was towing, that's what hit me again. So I think between the way that it came in and the speed that it was going, that hit me. And then that's when I obviously lost my balance at that point. Lost my balance and then just completely wiped out, completely onto the deck. Now I've heard since then that the sunglasses that I had on, they had been launched up to the roundabout, so that in itself gives an indication of the force that I was hit by. And then when I landed facing back the other way. So it obviously sort of turned around. I landed on my right side. And then although I had unclipped my feet from the pedals with the force of it, the bike was still between my legs. So I think that's what really caused the fracture on the front of the pelvis. I hit my head coming down on it a couple of times as well, but fortunately I wasn't knocked out.
So you were conscious throughout all this?
I was, yeah. Very conscious and very aware of it. It was practically like in slow motion that it happened.
Thankfully they got you to hospital. Any word from the police? Has anyone been traced?
Yeah, well, no, the police have actively been looking. There was someone on site there. They've been in contact with me every day. They arrived at the hospital on Friday. They were here for about an hour doing a full statement. They have actively been looking. They've been knocking on doors, checking out for other vehicles and CCTV, other premises in the area that would fit the description. And then hopefully with all the social media, people have been kind enough to share it to hopefully get word out there with the social media and all the news reports that hopefully that someone knows something that that they are able to track him down or her.
It's fantastic that you're here to tell the tale. Right. Thank you very much for talking to us. Finally, any messages to family, friends in Stornoway or anywhere at all?
Yeah, just a big thank you, because I've been overwhelmed, the amount of message of support, personally and through social media of people, people that I don't even know, that just know of me there. But I've just offered support, offered help there. It's so nice to know that, because, when I'm here on my own and thinking that, you're feeling that lonely, to know that it's just people that are out there and all my friends and my brother there that's there as well. So, a big thank you, and please keep it coming over the next couple of weeks, because I know that that's going to be the tough time there when, I get back home and start to try to rebuild my life again.
Yeah, it'll take time. Thank you very much for speaking to us today from your hospital bed. I know you've just sort of shuffled from your bed to be able to come and talk to us, so we're very grateful for that. Christina Mackenzie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Ian.